Business plans, a good business plan has both logic and emotion. Patrick Bet-David. Let's start with logic. Step zero, part one, must be willing to select one product, one avatar, one channel. Number two, you must work on the offer. Now let's go back to step zero A. Step zero A must be willing to select one product, one avatar, one channel, because you're not very good at what you do. And the only way you're going to learn to be good at what you do is by picking someone who you want to solve a problem for, and then knowing exactly what their problem is and what the solution should look like for them. Now, if you pick multiple industries, then you're going to have a very difficult time templating, and you're going to have a very difficult time developing a process and scaling if you're working with all different sizes of businesses, all different sizes of customers who all have, because at each level there are different problems, even within the same industries. So you must know exactly who you want to talk to, if you want to talk to the salon or you want to talk to the hairdresser. Etc. So even in that, then when you know who you want to sell to, then you begin to work on the offer. You begin to craft the offer so you can best suit that person. After that, you work on the lead magnet, which is you get more people like the person who uses your offer. You reveal to them that they need your thing by giving them this thing first. Meaning, if I were going to get someone, the only examples I have are like business examples. So you could say someone needs a website. The only way that you reveal to them that they need a website is by giving them a free landing page. The only way you reveal to them that they need hosting is an example, is by giving them a free landing page and a free website. They go boom boom and they say, but it still doesn't work. Oh, you just need hosting, and then hosting may be your core offer. So just give them something that's gonna make them, that's going to reveal to them that they need this in order to get the full benefits of your entire system. So that's the lead magnet. And then you get leads. You get leads through warm outreach, cold outreach, content, and then paid ads. Warm outreach, you reach out to people that you know who qualify for your thing and would need your thing and would benefit from your thing. Number two, you reach out to people you don't know, which is cold outreach. You reach out to people you don't know, who qualify for your thing and would benefit from your thing. Number three is you create content. So you turn people who were cold or didn't know you at all into potential cold outreaches. And from there, they get to know you and they become people you could potentially warm outreach to. So you just get more people to know about your stuff through content. And then number four is paid ads. And with paid ads, you have the advantage of you've done number one, number two, and number three. So you know what works in those. You take what you use common factor analysis. So from everything you've done, you take the top 10%, you see what they have in common. You see the bottom, you take the bottom 10%, you see what they have in common. Do less of this, do more of that. And you do that over and over again to get better and better. And then you do a lot of volume with that top 10% result. So your 100% is going to be made up of what that 10% was made of, and so on and so forth. And you keep repeating the cycle until you get better and better and better. And then you eventually will move on to doing paid ads, in which you're going to be using your more refined methods of actually getting customers. And then once you have those leads, in order to make them become customers, you need number two, which is you need to contact the people and make sales. Now, in order to make those sales, you can use the closer framework. The closer framework is, now this might be one of the most tactical videos that I've done, but this is 100% my business plan that I intend on using from A to Z. So it might be a lengthier video. Hope I'm able to provide you value at some point in time during this video. Closer framework is, it's clarify, label, overview, the past pain, sell the vacation, explain away the concerns, and reinforce the decision. So you clarify why they're there to begin with. You label them with what they just told you they were there with. You overview things that they have done in the past to try and solve the same problem. You sell the vacation. So instead of saying that this pen is a super duper pen, it's a great pen, it's an awesome pen, it never runs out of ink, etc. Instead of saying all that, you say, hey, do you have great ideas that you want to use to become very great and fantastic, whatever? Yes, pen. You sell the vacation, you sell the outcome. You talk more about the outcome than the journey to get there, because no one cares about how good your pen is. I just want to know if I can use it, and I want to know if it's going to work for me. So that's selling the vacation. You explain away the concerns. So They will come up with obstacles for you to overcome. An example or a couple of examples are they will come up with timing, and you combat timing with priorities, which means we all have 24 hours. If you say you don't have the time, then it means that there's something that you're using that we need to prioritize this over that in order to get to the result. If you are as serious about getting to your thing as you say you are, then it shouldn't really be a problem for you. Preference, they may prefer to do something a different way than what you prescribe, and to which you reply, if you change the variables, then you will change the outcome. If you want my results, then you need to do it my way. Money and ROI, right? These are obstacles. So money may be an obstacle, or they're saying now the ROI just doesn't make sense. So you use logic to combat this, which means if this thing actually worked, then would it be worth it? So yes. And if the answer is yes to that, then they just don't believe you, which means you may need to provide them proof. And if it is logical, they do believe you, then you may go into payment terms, the nitty gritty. Can you break this payment up for me? Can I pay half now, half later, etc.? Especially depending on your ticket price. Now, a stall sounds similar to timing, but it's actually quite different. A stall is more so like, I don't know if I can do this right now. I don't know if, and that's usually a fear. There's usually a concern that you can get to, and depending on the level of rapport that you have with the customer, you can ask them either, what are you afraid of? If you have more rapport, you can ask them, what are you really afraid of? If you have less rapport, then you can ask them, what do you have any points in particular that are still concerning you right now, sir, ma'am, whatever the case may be. Circle, sir, ma'am, circle, because it's 2024, we have 50 genders now. Past experiences, if they have a past experience that they say, I don't know, if the thing that's still concerning them is that, I don't know, I've tried doing like a similar thing to this, and I don't. So have you tried dating before? Especially if it's someone who's older. Have you tried dating before? It's like, yeah. It's like, well, imagine if you only dated in primary school, and then after you got your heart broken there, you said, I'm never dating again. Don't let that bad experience burn you twice. So that's the burn you twice overcome. And then the decision maker is one of the most difficult to get over, but a couple of ways to get over this is, what if they say no? Like whoever you're giving the responsibility, it's like, okay, so what if they say no? What then? And then you start talking about the thing rather than talking about the decision. What would they be against? So now you're back in the sale instead of talking about them opting out. Are they happy that you're struggling? Are they happy that you're going through this thing? It's like, no. And they know that you're struggling with this. Yes. So they've already given you permission to do something about it. So so you're using their past agreements and dragging it into the future. Maybe you're asking for permission instead of asking for support, because 5 years from now you may be looking back and your business is still struggling, or you've actually continued on this cycle of putting on weight, and you've put on a lot more weight if you sell weight loss things or whatever the case may be. You're going to be looking at yourself, you're not going to have this thing and you haven't started this thing, and who are you going to blame for that? You're going to blame your partner. So I think you should ask for support instead of permission. And that's pretty much the overcomes. And when it comes to the closer framework, I don't think we're going to return to those pages in a while until we get to the 8 ways to make customers worth more. So that's the end of part 1. Part 1 is literally, how do I get customers? How do I start making money? You start making money by step 0. Decide who you're going to solve the problem for, and decide where you're going to solve the problem for them. Step 0B is work on the offer, work on the actual thing that you're going to be using to solve for them. My advice, or my tactics toward this, is throw as much value as you can into the thing. Throw everything you know at it. And then from there, from those first successes, you're going to be able to tell what the key points were and what points actually provided the most value. And then you can summarize those points and you can turn it into a templated thing that's actually going to help your avatar. And then you work on the lead magnet, which is the thing before your thing that reveals to them that they need the thing, or it's a free trial. If you have a subscription based thing, like, okay, I'm gonna give you 1 month for free. You're actually gonna try the thing, and then if your thing's crack cocaine, they're gonna be hooked. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Other examples, it's like a fitting room, example where you get to trial the thing, you get to see the thing, see if it works for you, and it's a temporary fix for a recurring problem. Spotify, which is I'll give you, I'll let you listen to your favorite music artist for 1 month, and then you listen to them for 1 month, and you're like, man, I need more of that, bro. That was too convenient, and then you hop back on it. So, lead magnet, how to get leads. So this is literally okay, it is customer acquisition essentially. But when we say lead, when you speak of a lead and you speak of an engaged lead, a lead is someone who knows about your stuff, right? So this is the part where, so now you've made this thing. You know who you're making it for. You've actually made the thing. You've made it good. You can attract people to your thing. Okay, now that you have this little package that you have, then you can begin to approach people. Who do you approach? You approach people who qualify for your thing, who would benefit from it. And you don't directly say to them, hey, would you like this thing? No, it's like, listen, I have this thing. Boom, 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 boom. You're like, I don't, it's this thing. I know that it would help someone like this, and you know that it's them. But I know it would help someone like this. Do you think you know anyone? That way, you're not putting pressure on them, and you're not coming off with this thing we call commission breath. You're not coming off with like you're trying to make a sale or you're desperate for a sale. No, it's like, listen, I have this thing. Do you know anyone who would be interested? And if they don't answer yes, then they may actually know someone who may be interested in it. But either way, you get awareness, or you get to acquire a customer. So that's warm reach out. Cold reach out is obviously to people you don't know, emails, DMs, Facebook groups, etc. You approach them, you give them. Usually, this is now where a lead magnet would actually be very, very useful. Like, hey, here's this thing that you can do for free. And then when they do that thing for free, they'll realize like, that was actually fire. Where can I get more of this? Or where can I get the better version of this, or the deeper version, or the next thing, depending on what your lead magnet is. And then, you create content to turn the number two people, the cold people, into warm people, and just to get, again, the awareness out. So mainly here, we're trying to generate people to know about this great thing that we've created, right? We're trying to get more and more people to know that we do this thing, know that we create this thing, and know that it's really, really cool, right? So, and then paid ads is when you've exhausted number 1 to number 3, then you use the tactics that worked in number 1 to number 3 as paid ads. So you use the customer successes that you got. You use the success as content. You use their scenarios, their situations. You use all of that as paid ads. That, oh, I actually had this person who's suffering from this pain, because usually a pain will kind of draw out reaction a lot more than like a long story, or it's usually a key point. So if you're asking your customers for like testimonials, say when the job is done, you say, hey, what was your lowest point before you started working with me? And then they say that, like, bro, I was making $0, and I was just making no profit. I was stretched thin, and and then people will relate to that pain, and they will understand that, wow, if this could work for them, it will probably work for me, is the goal. And then number 2, actually sell to the customers. Now, the part that I left out is the part that's going to need a bit more explanation. So this is still to do with the customers, but my point was, you're done here. As soon as you get to the sales part, you use that closer framework, and then you're doing the onboarding, right? You've done the onboarding. So you use the closer framework, so we use the leads, we've gotten you customers. Closer, you sell the customers. Now you have customers, okay? So in the process of having customers, you need to onboard them. You need to create expectations, manage expectations, make as many promises as possible and deliver on them. That's onboarding, okay? So during the onboarding, make and deliver on as many promises as possible, multiple points of contact all throughout. So that means if you're going to be doing something for them and they purchased on Monday and you're going to be done by Sunday, there are still things that you're going to be doing every day in order to get it finished by Sunday. And a great way to retain customers is by keeping touch with them and reaffirming that decision again, which is R, right? Reinforce the decision. So for the sales team, it means when they're handing off to onboarding, they're gonna say, okay, listen, great choice. You've made this decision. Here's what you can expect next. And then they hand you off to the next person. If you're in a small business, you are the next person. Remember remember the conversations you had when you were making the sale. Now that you're on the onboarding, you reinforce the decision. You let them know, hey, listen, this is what you can expect. You can expect an email in this time. You can expect a text. You can expect this. You can expect that. And then we will begin the onboarding process. In which, like I said, make as many promises as possible, deliver on them. So as many touch points as you can. Hey, listen, we did this today. Check. Oh, we did this today. Check. We did this. Check. We did this. Check. And that will give them that feeling of, oh, these people are on the ball. They're actually, they're doing this. Like, it's happening right now in front of my eyes. I'm in it, and this is happening. That's what you want to give them. So if you're just coming back and giving them the, okay, so here's your landing page. Okay, so here's your website. Okay, so here's your offer. I'm done doing your offer. This is it. I'm done doing your sales scripts. I'm done doing your website. This is it. Then they see it, and then it's just a thing. It's like, okay, I just bought this thing. What is it? So you want them to be a part of the journey, and you want them to feel like it's their baby too, because it is. And a great way to make it seem like you genuinely care is by genuinely caring. So 8 is you apply the 8 ways to make customers more valuable. So I'm gonna go off memory here. If I lose it, I do have it on the page, but it's price up, price down. So okay, it's increase the price, it's decrease the cost. Number 3 is create a recurring revenue cycle, like make them buy again or make them buy more of the same thing that they've bought. Number 4 would be a burger with fries. So make them buy something else that complements the thing that you've sold them already. Number 5 is quantity up. Make them buy in bulk, make them buy in bulk. Number 6 is quality up, which is you upsell them to a better version of what they already have. Like, hey, listen, you're on the gold standard right now. We have a premium package coming out, and I think you'd love it very much. And then number 7 and number 8 are the inverse of number 6 and 7, of number 5 and 6, sorry, which is quantity down. Which is going from, if I have a 3-pack of pens, and you have to buy all 3 in order to get 1 pen, I also have 1 pen for sale. And this is to turn a no into a yes. And then also quality down, which is, I have this Xerox machine, great printer, it never breaks, it's this, is that, but it's expensive. I also have this pretty mediocre one that you can have if you just want to print something now quickly. And then they might use this and they might see that, oh, okay, this thing is actually not that good. No wonder that thing's more expensive, because I see what parts are missing from this that may be in that. And those are the only 8 ways to make customers more valuable. So now we've done part 1. It's part 1 done. You are in business. You're not only in business, you are making money in business. You have even begun to implement one of those at a time, please. don't at the or like all at once. Freaking you increase the price, decrease the cost, go left, go right, because you won't know what's working when and how, So just control the controllables, and then as soon as everything's stabilized, you just boom, 1. Okay, let me do this, let me boom, and you build from there, you work into it, and then eventually, when you're bigger, you'd want to be doing all 8. So you have your customers, you're in business, you're making money, you're good, everything's nice, everything's pure. One problem, there's only one of you, and the amount of these people who are pouring in now is becoming a bit much to manage. Now, you should only be getting to this point when you are netting healthy profit, it goes back to step 0. And why I have that step 0 is because as someone, and I'm actually going to bring this up later as well, as someone who has failed in business multiple times and who has failed to work with certain small businesses, the reason why I failed in business is the same reason why I'm failing to work with them, is because they right now are still making the mistake that I was making then, and they refuse to change it, which is, don't make the mistake of trying to be everything to everyone. Don't make the mistake of trying to appease to all age groups and trying to appease to, because there's only one of you. And not only is there, okay, there's only one of you, which means you're going to stretch yourself thin trying to do all these things at once. And that's going to cause you to be working extra hard, but you're not seeing the profits. The margins are just not making sense for the amount of work that you're doing. And that's because you have not created, you don't have an offer. You don't know what you do. I can ask you, hey, and that's my first thing that happens. So the first thing that I do, I ask, so what do you sell? What's your top selling thing? What's your least selling thing? And then I noticed that when I was talking to someone who already had only one thing that they do, instead of doing fashion, they did this item, right? I don't want to expose the businesses I'm working with, but just for privacy reasons, man. I don't want my brand to be the reason why, to be tied to the success of the companies in any way, shape, or form. So that's the only reason why I don't expose that. But instead of doing fashion, they did this item of clothing, and then they added to the catalog that one as well, just a burger with fries. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I, you go into places where they're selling burger, pizza, and it's like, yo, who's this for? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I try to explain, you're now stuck in a cycle where you're trying to explain to a person that if you cast out a wide net, the wide net also has bigger holes. And the fish that you're actually trying to catch, that you'd actually provide the most value to, are going to slip through the cracks. And you may catch a few just due to the blockage caused by all the other fish. But then those ones are the ones that are going to cost you extra time, extra labor, extra inventory, extra whatever to fulfill those. And what you're actually profiting off of is these tiny ones that you would be catching a lot more of if you decreased your net size. Damn, that was a good analogy, son. Come on. Anyway, so you should be at this point, and you should be still able to operate all of this at the same time. I mean, right now, I could probably scale up to, if I wasn't doing the content as well, I could easily be doing 20 customers. Easily, 20 clients, I'm doing 5 right now. I was doing 6, but I had to cut one because, like I said, sometimes you have to let people learn. And that's what actually taught me to have that qualifier in the beginning. So this is actually genuinely my business plan, guys. No jokes about it. So at this point, you should be netting a healthy profit. You should be doing well. And this is the point at which you would want to think about hiring people and actually getting people to help you. So who are these people who are going to be helping you? We call them the 4 lead getters, right? Which is customers, affiliates, employees, agencies. So you use the core 4 to get them. Meaning, their job is to do the core 4 for you, right? Okay. And in the same way that you're going to be getting your customers is the exact same process through which you're going to be getting them. So part 2 is basically a repeat of part 1. So I'm not really going to repeat everything. I'm just going to put it this way. They do the core 4 for you. It's lead generation. To get employees, you do leads, which is you are going to reach out to people that you know. Hey, cousin, do you think you could, or do you know anyone who would, people you don't know, hey, I have this thing, do you think you could, or know anyone who would, on your content, oh yeah, guys, by the way, do you think you could, or know anyone who would, and you CTA the same way you would a customer, call to action, hey, click that link, hit that number, comment down below, I'll reach out to you, whatever the case is. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's the exact same way that you're gonna be getting the employees. the employees, the affiliates, the agencies that you're going to be working with, by customers, getting the customers to reach out to their friends, to cold outreach for you, to be in the ads. It all just feeds right back into each other. And fantastic thing about referrals and people who came in through referrals is that they're the most likely to refer. So that's a great one, because they are the most likely to refer. So fantastic to pour energy into, especially in the beginning, especially when you're still smaller. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's lead gen, it's applicant nurture. So in the same way that you nurture leads, you nurture applicants, and you put them through the system. After that, you go interview, and interview is like the sales process, especially when you get to the higher levels of employees. Is you should be convincing them why they should work for you, versus what can you do for me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Um, yeah, they go through an onboarding process. So again, you go as many contact points as possible. You boom, boom, boom. You touch in with them. You make sure that they know exactly how their role is important. And that's important not only for retention, but also for performance, because they'll always have a why. They'll know why they're performing certain roles within the company, and that's actually very important. From there, you go into retention and ascension. Yeah, retention and ascension. Wow. That word just sounded wrong. I don't know why. Yeah, so retention and ascension is like you just need to have that dangling carrot. They need to have reason that, or hope that if I continue on this path, there is something on the other side for me. People feeling like their careers are a dead end is the number one reason for people quitting, is because they see that there is no pot of gold on the other side, and so they just hop out of the they hop out of the wheel. They hop out the hamster wheel. Part three. So now you have staff, you have a system, it's working, you're scaling. All you have to do now is keep your advantage. How are you going to do this? You keep your advantage through strategy. Strategy is prioritization of resources. So it's limited resources versus unlimited opportunities. And this goes into someone who's worked in small businesses and failed small businesses myself. I understand this innately. And the reason why the reason why I failed and the reason why they fail is because there's a lack of strategy. There is a lack of prioritization, or there are no priorities in terms of where are we going to focus our limited resources against these unlimited opportunities to serve everyone. So instead of being everything to everyone, who am I going to be to someone? So that's just the number one thing that I find is lacking. And the best strategists only focus their resources on high leverage opportunities, meaning where you get the most bang for your buck, where you do a little bit and get a lot out of it, right? That's high leverage opportunity. So yeah, that's another reason why, again, back at 0A, another reason why to narrow down, especially at first, is because you're only going to find high leverage opportunities within those niches at first, because you're not that good. And so the only way to get skilled, if you can define an expert as someone who has failed the most at doing the same thing, then they know the ins and outs of how to do that particular thing in that very specific industry. So in order to keep your advantage, you need brand and innovation. So brand means you're going to need to serve your customers well. And when there are problems, obviously you've done your due diligence and your product is actually good. However, it may constantly need to be improving. So that's why it's brand and innovations, because you have made a promise, but the way you keep that promise is going to evolve over time, as everything does. Or if it doesn't, then you run into the blockbuster problem, where you think people are going to opt to go to stores and do that instead of getting their movies mailed to them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's just that lack of innovative spirit. So the way to solve for what problems to solve is what's the reach of the problem? How many of my customers are impacted by this? Number two, impact. How bad is it? Number three, confidence in how good is my solution going to be? If I'm not confident in the solution, then I probably shouldn't implement it. And then number four is expense. How expensive is it? Especially if it's something that I'm not confident in, that's probably not going to have any impact on all the customers that are suffering with this problem, then it's probably not that good of a solution. So if you run the solution through that ringer and you say, okay, no, it is going to reach as many people, it is going to reach the people who are struggling with this, it is going to impact it greatly. I'm confident in this and it's not going to be that expensive, then that's 100% an innovation that needs to be made. Now, when making this innovation, you always have to keep the value equation always have to take the value equation into consideration. The value equation is dream outcome multiplied by perceived likelihood of achievement. You want to increase the likelihood that they think they will achieve their dream outcome. And what you want to decrease is time, delay, and effort and sacrifice. So in this innovation, whatever you're implementing to remove pain, make sure that it is increasing the dream outcome. It is increasing the perceived likelihood of achieving that dream outcome, decreasing time, delay, decreasing effort and sacrifice, and it will be a good innovation. Now, part four, now for the emotional part. When we talk about emotion, we're going to talk first and foremost, stick with it. How are you going to stick with it? Well, motivation is equal to deprivation, and you are defined by the 5 people you compare yourself to. Not you spend the most time with. No, you're defined by the 5 people that you compare yourself to. And so if you compare yourself with people that will deprive you, i.e. myself, comparing myself to the person that I want to be one day, you know, that great individual, as well as the people who have the things that I want, that right there is how you become deprived. Because by that logic, you think to yourself, wait, so the most deprived people of money are poor people, and they would want to be the richest. If you look around, you find that that's not the case. Well, that's because deprivation is also, it's different. I'll explain how. Poor people are probably going to be surrounded by other poor people, yes? Okay, so they feel rich, or they feel relatively I compared to the people they compare themselves to. If I am a millionaire and I'm in a room full of people who are making tens of millions, then I am deprived. If someone has a job and their goal, their deprivation, whatever they're seeking towards is like, man, if I made 10K a month, I would feel absolutely fantastic. If I'm at 1 million and I'm thinking to myself, man, if I made 10 million, that would be absolutely fantastic. Who's more deprived? I am 9 away from my goal, right? And their goal is a double away. So they want to make 10,000, I want to make 10 million, and they're going from 5,000 to 10,000, and the actual gap between the two places is not that far, versus from 1 million to 10 million, it's actually a much further gap. So again, motivation is equal to deprivation. So the people you compare yourself to, also knowing that as long as you keep trying and you are still in business, you are still in business. As long as you keep trying, you're still in business. Business is an infinite game. You don't win business. The point of business is to stay in business. And so if you do not stop, you cannot lose. Period. Number 1 rule of business, and I say the number 1 rule of chasing a dream as well. Use what you've got. Use what you've got is a big one. If all you have is whatever the case may be, if all you have is a camera, if all you have is an iPhone, you don't have a ring light, you don't have a little laptop that actually switched off now, bruh. And I'm afraid things are gonna switch off again. If you don't have anything, go back to my first video. I started in a room. There's a mattress behind me. There's just a lot going on, bro. There's some bathtubs over there. There's an upside down. Use what you've got, start, and then you can learn what to improve and iterate from there. There are trade-offs. Being able to name them is powerful. You have to know if you're willing to make the trade. If you're not, then that's okay, but you're not gonna get what you want. And you have to be okay with that. There are trade-offs that you're gonna have to make. You're gonna have to not go out. You may have to, like, if you want the six pack, you're gonna have to stop eating cake for a while. You know, and that's just that. You know, if you're gonna want to succeed in sports and athletics, you're probably gonna cut down on drinking. You're probably not gonna be drinking at all if you want to be number one, etc. So when you're able to name those things that you're gonna have to do and the things that you're gonna have to stop doing, then it's powerful because it begs the question then, am I willing to give those things up to get what I want? And if the answer is no, then you're not going to get that thing, and you have to be okay with that. I'm not saying everyone should be an absolute brutal savage and just have a grind put in the output like the best of them do. But if you don't do what the best of them do, don't expect to have what the best of them have. That's it. A North Star. The North Star question is, does having X in my life increase the chances of me hitting my goal? And X, you can put X, whatever the case is. Does having this person in my life increase the chance of me hitting my goal? Does having drinking in my life increase the chances of me hitting my goal? Does having, and that's literally just the question. Does this increase or decrease the chances of me hitting my goal? And if the answer is usually neutral, then you probably shouldn't be investing energy in it, because that's just time and resources that you could be investing in the dream that you're now investing in something else, you know? So, North Star question. Know your big goal. Ask yourself. I actually tweeted something recently, and it said, nowadays, I just see a girl, I play it out. Like, okay, what would I see? Sometimes I see a bad one, bro, and I'm like, yo, this is a bad one still. And I play it out in my head. I'm like, okay, what would happen? Okay, I would go over to this girl, or I would DM this girl. I get her, we smash. And then if she's a really bad one, they might even think to myself, damn, then I'm probably gonna want to like be committed to this chick. I'm probably gonna be spending a lot of resources on this chick. You know, I'm probably gonna want to take her out. I'm gonna want to treat her well, etc. Does that take me closer to my goal? Well, no. So why would I DM her? So I will go over to her. If that takes you closer to your goal, if your goal is to be just living a good life, you know, married with a bad one, then cool, bro. But that's not my goal right now. And I believe that my partner in the future is going to be someone who's going to be kind of aligned in those goals, who's going to be trying to get the same thing that I'm getting, because I mean that's what we're solving for, right? We're solving for X. So if she's a part of, so if I say if having her in my life is going to increase the chances of me having my goal, then that's definitely something that I'm going to be with. So I'm not saying don't be with anyone. I'm just saying the question is, does having X in my life increase the chances of me hitting my goal? That's it. You know, I think that's a very good framework to work off of, because you really, if you saw the amount of people that I'm following on Instagram has gone down significantly, on TikTok gone down significantly, on Facebook, you know, to keep it real with you, bro, for the most part, I just want to follow Alex, Patrick Bet-David, and that's pretty much it. Everything else, I'll take with a Himalayan pillar of salt. But ultimately, those are the two guys that I look like, and I'm like, they have pretty cool lives. I want to live like that, and they've guided me thus far. You know, have not led me astray, and yeah, they have what I want. They say what to do, and I'll do that. Simple as that for me. Burn the boats. Now we're nearing the end of this, so I'll tell you a little bit of a story. The little kid who saw that there's no path to glory using both personality and natural gifts. I vividly remember thinking this after I drew up my first business plan. It was terrible, by the way. It was an absolutely horrible business plan. But I thought this, and I remember it very vividly. I heard Tony Robbins say it a few times, and other individuals who have what I want and have that in common. So I said, fuck it. I will burn the boats. And so I burnt the boats. I knew then what I know now. I knew then that the conventional path was not for me and that I wasn't going to do that. And I knew that the road was going to be very, very difficult. And I knew that if I had a way out, that people who love me would encourage me to take that way out. If there was a safe, cushy job based on me having just a very average and mediocre resulting that was available, then they would encourage me to take that. And they would slowly but surely push me out of my dream. I would get comfortable and I would regret ever taking their advice to begin with. I would harbor resentment for them. It would decay my relationships with them, and I would live a very, very miserable life, because I would never know what would have happened if I'd gone for my dreams, and I would never would have known what happened, and it wouldn't have been based off of my decision, but based off of like a decision that someone made with me / for me, and so I couldn't have that, and so I burnt the boats. And listen, before I came into this game, I was just a sport guy, so I'd heard all the motivational clips, so I never really needed much in terms of the emotional side, except for these couple of frameworks, and also to burn the boats, because it does get hard. You do feel like stopping. You do feel like, man, maybe I should just get a job, be a normal dude. And that was actually a point. Let me just make sure this laptop doesn't switch off so that the light stays on. That was actually a point in my previous relationship, and the reason why I thank God that it actually didn't work out is because I was very, very comfortable in that relationship, and we had conversations and stuff like that, and I was finding myself, and I would have found myself ultimately settling, not going for my big goals, not wanting to achieve my big dreams. And I think that could have been avoided if I was solving for X. If I'd asked myself that, man, does having this relationship get me closer to or further from my goal? It probably would have felt like a closer to for me, because I didn't know what to look for, because I didn't know who I was. And so when you know who you are, you'll know who's for you, because you'll know what you want to do, and anyone who doesn't want to do that or aid you in doing that is not for you. Yeah, this just got too real. It just got too real for a second. Let me just get back to the thing. And then part 5 is emotion and logic together. Just get better, bro. Just get better. Work is equal to volume times leverage, which is equal to output. So work is equal to output. Meaning the more you do, the more leverage you get. And skill is a form of leverage. Meaning the more you do of a thing, the better you'll get at doing the thing. And then when you combine that with doing even more of the thing, you'll get even better at doing the thing, which all are going to increase the output. I'll show you this quickly. Work equal to volume multiplied by leverage equal to output. Okay? You can screenshot that if you want. Take it to the bank. Yeah, do volume, use common factor analysis. So root of 100 by Alex is a decent rule of thumb, which is do 100 of something. You take the top 10%, bottom 10%, do more of the top 10, less of the bottom 10. The secret to life may well be doing the things that you do on the days that you consider the best days of your lives, and doing those every day. So that may be different things for different people. Alex, for him, it was working out. He had a meal with a friend or his partner. And then was the third one chilling with his partner? Something like that, bro. Oh, third one. Okay, so it's worked out. Had a meal with a friend or a partner. And then number 3 is there's nothing left in the tank on those days. He had absolutely worked himself to the brim, and those are the days that felt the best for him. So maybe something different for everyone. For you, it may be like, yo, I sang on that day, I danced on that day. Whatever the case is, whatever those points are, bro, if you get to hit those every day, then that would actually be a really, really good ass life, So yeah, the secret to life may well be just using common factor analysis and thinking about those great things that are going to net the outcome in life that you want, and contain the daily activities that you would like to be doing. Yeah, just use common factor analysis to find these. Well, that's pretty much it, man. That's the guide to my life. Took some moments in there to explain some parts a bit more. I actually, you know what I'd love to do? I'd really love to, if anyone knows how to do this, or I'll try and Google search this. I'm actually gonna go in right now, try to figure out how to put in timestamps within the video. That'll be fantastic. If I'm not able to do that, then I will be able to do that by the next video. Thank you guys for watching. If you do in fact enjoy my content, then I think these things come up here somewhere. So yeah, bro, if you like my stuff, here's something that you'd probably like as well. And please do subscribe to show your support. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Sage, signing out.